Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel, and I have some more drama for you this morning. And I guess where I would lead off with this morning is we've all heard the saying of you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And you have to wonder about that concept from the mindset of the eventual villain. You know, they started out as this hero that was prosecuting this journey, this ethical fight against either a wrong or some kind of ideal that they were trying to maintain. And they get so engrossed in it that they start to lose track of where that ethical line actually is. And they end up pushing it past the line into something that is unrecognizable. And I gotta say that we've got a real bad look coming from RareBreed Triggers this morning. Real bad look indeed. And it's a shame. It really is. Real quick break and I'll fill you in. Today's video is brought to you by RMA Armament. Now, RMA is a brand that we have tested here previously. I'm going to link you to a video that we did about 3 years ago where we took their ceramic plates and shot them with ridiculous rifles at ridiculous ranges. We're talking like I am standing profile in the shot and you can see me, the rifle, and the armor in the shot all at the same time. It even stopped a .338 Lapua at that range. RMA just launched their XRT plate, which is their extreme rifle threat plate. We're talking about stopping 7.62 by 51, so M80 ball, and 7.62 by 54R API, and doing so at just under 5.5 pounds. If you would like to see a testing of this plate, sound off in the comment section down below. But in the meantime, you can catch up with them at RMA Armament. Let's get back to the video. Real quick, just to fill folks in that perhaps aren't as chronically online as it relates to this specific thing. And this is hyper paraphrase. So just keep that in mind. RareBreed Triggers has been abused by the government for years. They said that their device turns otherwise legal weapons into machine guns and that it is a machine gun itself. And that is obviously ridiculous. I mean, it ruined their lives for years and they won. They ultimately won. They got a settlement from the Department of Justice, said, hey, we're not going to go after you anymore. Our bad, but you have to enforce your patents. Not a decisive win as far as like the greater community is concerned. Call it a Pyrrhic victory. But when it comes to RareBreed Triggers, take that deal. I am not a patent attorney. I am not even an attorney. I am just a dude that sits here with his pulse on the firearms community. And there are really three categories as it relates to enforce your patent. There is the, hey, we kind of got to look like we're enforcing our patent to keep our deal with the DOJ, to make it look like we're doing this in good faith, right? Even though perhaps we intend to lose these, okay? There is the absolutely should bury those people. And then there is the you should absolutely not do that thing. You can discretionarily talk about the first category. The second category, though, like F those people, like there's currently a lawsuit against the WOT folks, the Big Daddy Unlimited folks, and they're a huge plethora of shell companies that we've covered ad nauseum previously. Screw them. They owe a lot of folks money. They've made a lot of bad deals. They've screwed a lot of their customers. Like those folks, and I've said this on more than one occasion, I hope that RareBreed Triggers sues them so hard that they can't get their dick out of the dirt, right? Like everybody associated with that company or the collection of just really shady, bad business, yeah, get them. I mean, we're talking pyramid scheme people. But on the flip side, the category that is like, you should absolutely not do that thing, like the super safety stuff. Like, you should not do that. Like, that is definitely taking liberties, and it's really, really bad look. It's really, really bad. Well, we have another installment in the really, really bad look this morning. And this past weekend, if you weren't in the know, the GOA held their event, the goals event. I would have attended, but I already had a pre-booked fishing trip from back in January. And I chose to go fishing with my dad because I felt that was more important. I didn't have any obligations or goals anyway. I would have made it work if they had me do something there. But anyway, so I was not there. However, RareBreed Triggers was. And apparently they're walking around handing out C&D letters. This is a post from Active Safety Designs at Goals. You have the dude from Active Safety Designs there on the left holding the paper. Random bystander in the back looks like. And then Cole and Lawrence from RareBreed Triggers. And the caption reads, "The one and only RareBreed stopped by the booth at Goals to give us a quote-unquote gift. Nice meeting you guys. See you soon." They also released a reel with some details, but it has some copyrighted music over it, so I can't play the sound, but you can get the gist of it just by looking at the screenshots. Active Safety Designs is the manufacturer of the Arcfire trigger, which, just looking at the drawings, is some persuasion of a forced reset trigger. Now, granted, the RareBreed trigger is named the forced reset trigger. However, there seems to be some discussion on whether they actually invented the concept or not, because there appears to be a patent filed way back before we even had a definition of machine guns that seems to define and outline the concept of force reset. So is it novel? I would say from a layperson looking in, no, but of course I'm not a patent attorney. So what RareBreed is currently doing is they have two patents that they're really going out there to enforce: the 223 patent and the 247 patent. In this instance, RareBreed alleges that there is a dongle on the Arcfire that infringes on the 247 patent. And again, that is hyper paraphrased, but that seems to be the minutia of what is going on here, distilled down to a couple sentences. There is always a continuum of can you versus should you. And you can technically sue anybody for anything, but will you win or prevail, or is it the right thing to do? And I would say in this instance, absolutely not. They should not have done this. They really blew their whole wad when it came to ethical, when it came to the whole super safety situation. And this seems to, at least as far as what I can tell from looking at this seems to be sort of a spin on a actual commercial version of this super safety. Again, super duper paraphrased. On top of that, doing it at an industry event, at an event that is open to the public. Really? So are we going to now turn SHOT Show or the NRA convention, or, which I don't know why anybody would go to that anyway, but the goals, obviously, Gun Con, insert any other event here. Are we going to turn all those into paper shuffling events where everybody shows up with their lawsuits and just starts handing them out to everybody? Is that what we're going to do now? There is a certain level of decorum that is expected. And if I was GOA, I would be super duper hacked off about this. They probably don't even know that it happened because they probably had a lot going on this weekend. I'm sending this to Eric Pratt. As soon as this video publishes, I'm sending it to my folks at GOA because, again, this is behavior unbecoming. If you want to do something like this, then you do it through the official channels off scene. You don't do this in front of the public. This is not behavior that is acceptable to begin with, let alone to be done in front of folks, right? There are just certain things that should not be handled in a public forum, and this is obviously a gross violation of that. Like, I think that RareBreed just flew too close to the sun on this one. I think they were in a room too long with the ATF, and it rubbed off on them, because this is the type of thing that we expect to see from those kind of people. I would go as far as to say that it wouldn't surprise me if RareBreed doesn't get censured in some capacity, like barred from future events over this kind of thing. Again, there's just a certain expectation, and this is not it. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Is this all okay? And I'm just overreacting because I'm don't think that they should be doing this sort of stuff with the super safety stuff. Like, are you okay with it? Or is this just beyond the pale? Have they become the villain? Or are they still the hero?